So I just wanted to, first and foremost, thank you for coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, of
Pleasure.
course. Of course. So so where are you located actually?
So we are in Westaco, Texas, which is
Okay.
about 19 miles from McAllen.
Okay.
So it's way down south.
Yeah, that's Texas kind of started opening up, right? Everything has been
Yes.
that way. So you got a chance to like train and everything at a regular gym.
Yes, and I have my setup at home, but my husband likes to go to the gym. So
Hmm.
sometimes I'll go with him. Otherwise, I'll just train here at
You
home.
train at home. So what kind of setup do you have?
I have everything, the leg press, the split machine, free squat bar, dumbbells, glute press, elliptical, and
Oh,
then
you have everything. You basically have
everything.
you have an entire gym. You could start charging membership.
Yeah, except I don't like to share my stuff. So
That's it. I have like a very little setup in my garage, nothing like you have. And I was just joking with my wife. I was like, well, I should start charging people membership for coming in here. And she's like, no, I don't want anybody else like touching her
she's like me
equipment.
then.
No, that's funny. So you're in the wellness division, correct?
Correct.
So it's a big thing now, with the IFBB taking on wellness, and it's becoming like it was always popular in other countries, but now the US has really kind of grasped it and taken hold of it and pushing it forward. What do you think about that?
So I'm super excited because I actually started out in bikini. I then transitioned to figure and I did physique, but I
Mhm.
always wanted to do wellness.
Mhm.
But in order for me to compete in wellness, I had to go to Mexico to do those shows. And then I had
Right.
to be registered over there as well. So when I heard about it coming over here, I was just like so excited about it. And I did the transition over to wellness.
Got it. Got it. So you're this is a little bit off topic, but I mean you're Hispanic, correct?
Yes.
So are you from Mexico originally?
No, my parents are. So
Okay,
I was born here, but we live like 5 minutes from the border. So we'll go over every weekend.
got it. So you're familiar with it and everything like that, and you speak Spanish
Yes.
fluently, and
See.
yeah. So yeah, there you go. So it's not it wasn't like what I'm trying to get at is it wasn't a huge like difference. It was an easy, easy move to go there and then compete and come back.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, it is exciting. I was thinking about how why wellness wasn't in the IBB before, because it's such an interesting division. Like for women, I always thought that was the case, especially the kind of physiques that these girls are bringing in. Um, what do you think as far as like the state of wellness, the competitors now? Like we have the Pittsburgh, which is it this weekend that's happening?
This weekend.
This
Yes.
weekend. So you have a lot of like big time names in that one.
Mhm.
Probably the same names that are going to be in the Olympia, or at least
Um,
most of them. Who do you like in that show?
my two favorites, Angela and Garishna,
Hmm.
obviously.
Hmm.
I think that wellness has transitioned a lot from how it started out in Brazil and other areas from what it is here in the US. I think we have a lot of catching up to do to the
Hmm.
Brazilian girls, but I think that eventually we'll get there.
Got it. Got it. And I mean, you personally have transitioned so much. Starting in bikini, and then you said you did figure, and then you went to physique. How did I guess how did those changes come about? So like you started off in bikini. Like why did you decide to go to figure? Why did you decide to go to physique? Because they are a little bit different. Physique always
Mhm.
carries a lot more muscle. Figure a little less, but still very muscular. So what were you thinking as going through those transitions?
So always taking into consideration the judges' feedback. So after every show, I would always go and get my feedback. The first
Hmm.
bikini show, they told me I was way too muscular, and they recommended that I switch over to figure. And so I did that, and the next show I placed first.
Yeah.
And so I kind of knew, okay, that's where I needed to be. So I did that for 3.5 years. And then I transitioned over to physique. But then I was getting to a point where I felt like I was getting too big for my personal liking.
Hmm. For your
And so
comfort.
I started to, yes, I started to taper back down to figure, and then that's when wellness came around, and I reached out to Robert because I
Mhm.
was undecided whether to stay in figure or wellness.
Yeah.
And so once I reached out to him, he said you would be better in wellness.
Mhm.
I tried to stay in figure, but he said no, you're wellness. So
So you're not. It's better for you to go. Yeah, Robert and I had a show recently, and we had a really good discussion about wellness, the, kind of where it's going, where it's been, and things like that. He seems like a really great guy, and obviously a very talented coach as well. So, yeah, for sure. So, are you currently with Robert as well?
yes.
Yeah,
So right now I'm still in the off season phase.
you are in the off season. Okay. And are you planning to compete sometime soon? Like I know that you said you're in off season, but the season is starting, I guess,
Mhm.
around now, and we've got a few months of that, of course. So do you have a plan of action?
Yes, I actually sent in my pictures before getting on with you, and so he's checking those out, and he's going to give me my feedback to see where we're at. I like to do summer shows just because it's easier for my husband to travel with me,
Sure,
but
sure.
it's all going to depend on where I'm at and what he tells me. But one of the things that I have learned is I used to do everything on my own, and kind of having somebody else see me from a different perspective
Right.
helps to put me in a better place. So just
Yeah.
if I'm hiring a coach, I'm going to listen to what he tells me. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good way to be, because a lot of times what I see with people is they'll hire a coach, but then they'll want to coach themselves. So, and it's
Yes.
like they want to have too much input, and you should have some, but not too much, because that's why you hired the coach. So
Right.
they provide that. But yeah, that's definitely a good way to be. That's how you become more, successful. Um, so with you, competing, I guess, pretty soon here in the summer, I was gonna ask you, how did you get into like fitness in general, like training and fitness? Because I know you started off in bikini, but like, were your parents into training? Like, where did you pick that up? That zeal, desire for fitness?
So I've been an athlete my whole life since middle school. I was all around. I did volleyball, cross country, soccer, track, basketball. So I've always been active. And then high school as well. And then once I left, I started college. I finished my 5 year degree in 3 years. So I didn't really do any fitness at all. It was
Mhm.
kind of like a standstill point for me in regards to
Yeah.
fitness. And then once I finished, I looked at myself and I'm like, what have I become? So that's the point where I decided to go back into the gym and I started training again.
Mhm.
I started training at STX and I met a trainer. Her name is Erica, and she competed in figure, and she's the one that kind of motivated me to start competing.
Okay. And then at that point, you decided, like, let me go ahead and hop into this thing and see.
Yes,
How long did you compete in bikini before you went to figure?
a year.
A year, and then you did 3 years in figure, and then you went to physique. How long did you compete in physique before you decided that was, not a look that you were wanting?
Just 1 year.
Just 1 year. So that was all
Yeah,
it took.
that's it.
It's funny that you mentioned that. There's a few. I think it takes a specific kind of person, or female, I guess in this case, to go into physique. Like, not a lot of women want that as a look for, like, like a common everyday type of look, and
Mhm.
it definitely is a unique look. And then of course
Definitely.
women's bodybuilding, even more unique, right? Like, even less women go into that. So yeah, definitely.
And the work that they do is admirable because to stay in the condition that they stay in all year round is
Mhm.
crazy. And the amount of food that you have to eat, it's just crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So transitioning from all those divisions into wellness after Robert kind of advised you to go ahead and kind of focus on wellness, what was your process for to transitioning into that division? Because I mean, all those divisions that you mentioned are kind of very different. Wellness
Mhm.
being very leg heavy division. Like, what did you? do to get yourself ready for, for that division?
So the probably the hardest part for me was to stop training as much as I was training, because in figure it was like I had to train 7 days a week. I had to do my double cardio. I couldn't miss a session.
Hmm.
And once I transitioned over with Robert, he pulled off some of my days. So I was having like 3 rest days in a week, which was crazy for me at the
Uh-huh.
beginning. I didn't know what to do with myself. He also pulled my back days off. So I think I had one back day and 2 shoulder days when I first started. And then the rest of them were just leg days. The other thing that he implemented a lot was stretching, which I never really did before starting
Yeah.
with him. It
Yeah,
made
it's
a big
interesting.
difference.
Yeah, because see, just like that, like something like that, having Robert in your corner is such a big thing. Like, I wouldn't have known to do that. It's like,
Mhm.
who thinks, oh, I need to do like less, or I need to, stop working
Exactly.
back, or it's always like more, right? Like you always think,
Yeah.
oh, I want more. Like, if I'm not progressing, I want to do more, because that's mentally, that's kind of like how we're wired, right?
More.
But like a coach like that, like Robert, who kind of already has really perfected the process, since he
Hmm.
has so many, people under his belt for wellness. He knows how to build, a wellness physique, and that's very important. So how did I know, like for me, if I take days off, it's like I feel like I'm like missing out, like, is that kind of how you felt?
That's exactly how I felt. So I would just come in here and I would just literally just lay on the floor and listen to music.
Hmm.
Because if not, I felt like I was just gonna go crazy. I was just so used to my routine, like every single day. Um,
Yeah.
the other thing that I felt different in figure was I always felt like moody or exhausted, and with wellness, I feel happy. Like I enjoy what I'm doing, and I just felt like figure was just too much toll on my body.
Got it.
So
So what would you attribute that to? I know, so is it mainly from your diet? Is your diet different in wellness? Is it, as opposed to figure?
yes, definitely. So the diet, more rest days, and then also seeing how my body is changing into the look that I want to have.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
think all those together.
Right. Are you so well, I guess figure, you could say that it's a, leaner division. I don't know if, that's kind of like one of those terms, because I've seen a lot of wellness girls that are very, very lean. So but did you have trouble like gaining that size that you needed but still staying lean?
Not at all.
No.
The
No.
only trouble I had was bringing down my quads a little bit, which is what the judges kept asking me to do.
So
And when I
you were
switched
quad
over
heavy.
to, yes, and then when I switched over to wellness, that's one of the things that they praised me on was my quad development.
Oh yeah, that's, I mean, that quad legs, quads, like every type of, insertion in your leg is super important in wellness,
Mm.
How about like as far as your upper body is concerned? I know you stopped working back. How did that affect it? Did you stop working completely, or was it just slowed down?
So initially it was slowed down, and right now I only have one back day. And I think
Mm.
initially that was probably the hardest part for me because
Mm.
I was super proud of my back. Because when I can, like, whenever I would flex it, you can see every single little detail on my
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
But um, at first I was a little bit sad about that. But then talking to my husband, he's like, the way that you brought out your back, now you're going to bring out your legs. So
Right.
the way that you have every detail on your back, that's what you need to do to your legs now. So just think about it that way. So he's helped me a lot with that and transitioning my mindset.
Yeah, yeah, it's mental is huge, right? Because it's like
Yes.
you're changing your entire body, right? Like into
Hmm.
something totally different,
Different.
is so it's like a mind, and it can play tricks on your mind, even just from like personally for me, like my differences, and I've attempted to make them less over the years as I'm getting older, but differences between like like off season or on season, like
Mhm.
just seeing that sometimes can, warp your mind. Right now you're in your off season. What is your difference, if you don't mind me asking? It could be kind of scary asking a woman her weight, but uh, but what is your difference as far as like on stage in wellness and then like your off season in wellness?
So right now I weigh 140, and
Mhm.
when I stepped on stage in December I was 125.
Okay. So you're about like 20 pounds difference. That's not terrible.
Hmm.
That's enough to make improvements and
Yes,
still be not have a very difficult cut,
you're right.
which then goes to show you that, what you mentioned earlier, you're much happier now in your preps. So yeah.
Definitely.
What is like what does your prep consist of? What does Robert have you doing when you do prep?
So when I do prep, he has me do cardio in the mornings and in the afternoons, and only stairmaster to work on
Hmm.
the glute development. I have carbs every single day basically, and then I'm doing 4 leg days, um, 2 shoulder, and then 1 back day,
Got it.
and then
So
just spreading it out in between. And
yeah.
then also trying to do vacuums every day, which was something I hadn't done before, and doing it with him has really changed how my physique looks.
And which part was that you said? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Which
The vacuum
Oh, yes. Yeah,
for the
yeah.
abdominals.
Yeah, that's a very unique pose, like the vacuum pose. Not a lot of divisions do that, even men or women, really. I mean,
Hmm.
so to master that, how often do you practice the vacuum pose?
I'm supposed to do it every day, but I do it every other day. Don't tell Robert.
Yeah, no. Hopefully
he,
he's too busy
he'll
with the
skip this
show.
part.
Yeah, that he won't hear that part. Yeah, that's interesting. And do you feel like what helps you do the vacuum successfully? I guess I've never done that pose. So do you feel like having better ab core strength is like what helps you successfully go through that pose?
That, and then also learning to focus and control your breathing.
Hmm.
So a lot of it is mental.
Got it. So as you
Mhm.
breathe in, you kind of like hold your breath. How does the process go?
Yeah, so you breathe in, you hold your breath, and then do the vacuum, and then let it
Okay.
release it.
And flare
And then
out.
try to
Okay.
hold it for as long as possible.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, it's an interesting division. I feel like wellness is gonna go get really, really, really popular. I feel like
Right.
wellness is probably, I mean, if you look at the way it's progressed throughout the world, I feel like it's going to be very, in a short time, it's going to be one of the most popular, if not the most popular female division, there is. I know that like as far as bringing people in, bikini is pretty big, for obvious reasons, but I feel like wellness is going to surpass that,
Yeah, I feel
because
the same way. I've been watching the NBC Texas shows, and a lot of the wellness divisions are stacked. So
yeah.
I'm really happy for that.
And you see a lot of girls like just jumping into the wellness divisions now. So like all those
Mhm.
girls that didn't quite fit the mold of like bikini or maybe figure, and you see them like going into wellness now. So you're gonna have a very like good genetic pool. It'd be interesting to see who wins the Olympia. Even this Pittsburgh show would be interesting because
Yes.
it kind of sets up a criteria, right? Who do you who do you feel? I mean, I know you said you're the ones that you like, but who do you feel is probably going to take this Pittsburgh show?
Just because of the judges that are going to be judging the show,
Hmm.
I feel like an American's going to take it, and it would probably be Yarishna,
Got it.
because she has more popularity here in the US
Yeah,
than the Brazilians do.
sure,
And I
sure.
think she's kind of shaping the division to the parameters of her body.
Yeah. When I was talking to, and I like Eurasians like much like everybody else, but, and Robert does too, but he was mentioning that his favorite, or who most Brazilians feel like should win, is Angela, just
Angela.
from her, her experience, her look, she's been competing for so many years and winning basically everything. So That's, that's what he thinks. And I mean, there's definitely merit to that, and especially coming from Robert, who knows what he's talking about. So for
Yes.
sure. Yeah. So I see you yourself have quite the collection of statues there, or
Just a
so
few.
trophies. So like, are majority of those from figure or from wellness or what?
Yeah, from figure. So
From
the
figure.
majority of them are from figure. Wellness, my last show was the NPC USA in Athletics.
Hmm.
So we're hoping to get that show this year.
So that's what you're aiming for.
Yes.
Hmm. Got it. So what would you say by the time the show comes around? What is your, let me, and you can kind of take a second to think about it. I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot. What is your what is your best body part? And then what do you think is the body part that you need to work on the most, improve the most?
So I think my best would be the glute roundness. And then the
Hmm.
one that I need to improve the most are the insertions in the hamstring
Got it.
to
Got it.
give it
Yeah.
that nice time.
What do you do to improve that?
We've been doing a lot of sumo deadlifts and the RDLs also.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. Have you noticed a lot of improvement?
Hmm. I
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, good, good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you on stage. Hopefully,
Okay.
we'll be able to catch up, after you
Yes.
compete. That would be nice. So, at this point, you said, is there another? Do you have like a set of shows that you want to do this upcoming year, or is it just that one that you're focusing on?
That's the one that I like to focus on the most and then see what um, comes out after that.
Mm. So you kind of like what the judges say and go from there.
Yeah. Because besides doing this, I'm also working on my dissertation. So I
Okay.
have a deadline on that. So I'm
Okay.
trying. So that's the other thing about doing the wellness division. It's given me time to finish out my dissertation.
Okay.
Whereas where I was doing like figure was a lot more intensive in the bodybuilding side.
Sure. So you feel like wellness is allowing you to live more of a full life as opposed to just
Right.
only, focus on the industry, so to speak.
Hmm. Yes.
You said dissertation. Can you kind of, are you able to go into it? Like what's, tell people what is it? What's it about? Like, go ahead.
So I'm working on my doctorate in business administration at George Washington University.
Okay.
My concentration is in management. So I'm doing a case study on one multinational group that has a business in Mexico and exports to the US and how COVID has affected their logistics and their HR.
Wow.
So that's what I'm working on.
That's a pretty big thing. So when you say dissertation, how are we talking about, like, how long does this process take?
It should take me, I should be done by the end of the year. So I've already started what they call chapter one, and it's about a
Mhm.
huge manual, this thing. And it's gone to the review committee. And so right now they're reviewing it and they're going to give me feedback so I can work on my any changes I need to make.
Got it. Got it. So I don't. I want to make sure that I saw this right before I mention it. Hold on a second. So it says, I was looking at your Instagram page, and it says there that you were a performance coach, and yeah, it's a certified. Is how did When did you become certified?
In 2015. So I've
Mm.
been doing personal training online since then. I've had maybe a couple of clients in person, but I don't really have time to train them and people don't want to pay
Sure.
also the rate. So it's easier to just do everything online.
Well, I mean,
Um,
yeah, especially now with everything, it's such a big opportunity to do things online, more so than before with the pandemic and everything.
and then this upcoming month, I'm teaming up with my best friend and we're doing an online challenge because we've had a lot of people that ask us like, hey, can you train us? But we both don't have enough time
Yeah,
on our hands to personally train people.
sure,
So we're
sure.
doing an online providing videos and workouts every day. So.
Got it. So when you say challenge, is there like a specific challenge involved, or is the challenge the workouts themselves?
So it'll be like a 30-day challenge where we'll get workouts every day, and then we're gonna have three place winners to see who is able to make the most improvement on their body, and we're gonna judge them based on their measurements, their before pictures, and their weight.
Got it. And
So
so how does someone get involved in that? Like if they want to participate?
they can shoot either Yesenia or myself a DM, and then we'll send them a link to sign up. And everything's done through email, and
Mhm.
then everything's released through an application where they can download all of the videos.
I see. So you're using
So
an
it's on
app,
demand.
a specific
Yeah.
app for it.
Mhm.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. That's a. I'm hopefully it'll get going. You guys can do it more often. That would be interesting. That's huge right now. These challenges
Yes.
and because people with like I said, with the virus and everything, everyone is doing everything online. I don't see anyone going back to more of physical way anymore. It's like anything that can be done online is being done online. And
Right.
people have benefited because it's like you're benefiting because it saves you time. You can just put out the videos and that's it. You don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to do anything extra. The people that are receiving it are benefiting because they don't have to do
Right.
anything. They're just logging on, and they still get the same training. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's one of those things now. I think we've reached a new era,
Yes.
of training and everything really. Have you have you seen an increase or as far as like your clientele or anything like that? Do you feel like people are enjoying the online versions better?
Yes, I've actually have seen an increase over COVID. When I've had the most time, because before people wanted to train with me,
Got it.
and I would tell them like I don't have time, like I'm sorry. And now it's like okay, they're forced to do it online. They're signing up. So
Yeah.
they kept waiting for me to like have time. I'm like I won't have time till 2022.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
It's only 24 hours in a day. You should
yes,
sleep for 8, so that cuts it down. You have a
yeah.
husband and family life. Then do you have children or no?
We have a child. His name is Blue. He's a blue nose pit bull.
Oh, you got a dog. I was actually like like listening to you, like thinking you have a child. Then you're like, oh, he's a pit bull. So
Yeah,
pit bulls are really cute. I'd love to have a pit bull, but my little dog Schnauzer would have a heart attack. So she's old and grumpy, and she doesn't like
yeah.
anybody else around. It's funny.
Well, we have a pit bull, and then my mother-in-law has a dachshund, but we take care of him. So they're always, and he's old, so they're always fighting, but they can't live without each other. So
That's funny. Yeah, pit bulls, they're like they're really cute, but there's so much negative like
they get a
publicity
lot of
about
negative
them.
rep. Mhm.
Yeah. So how was your experience with pit bull? Is this the only one you ever had, or do you have other ones in the
Yes,
past?
yeah, he's the only one that we've ever had, and we were actually the other day we always lock the gate, and I don't know, I think he made a hole, so he got out. So
Hmm.
we were a little bit worried because they do get that bad rep, and so people are either going to be scared of him and like
Right.
do something to him,
Hmm.
or someone is going to give him food and he's just going to run to them and take it because he's
Yeah.
a super nice dog. Like he's very we call it mansito in Spanish. I don't know how to say it in English.
Like I don't know. Are you trying to say like I don't speak Spanish? So are you trying to say like sweet or
Yes,
playful?
like playful.
Playful.
So
Okay.
whenever somebody comes over, like he loves to play with them. He'll immediately like he'll jump on you and
Yeah.
he'll
Yeah.
start licking you because he wants to play with you.
Yeah.
So it's like one of two: either he's gonna get shot or he's gonna get stolen and taken.
Yeah,
So
that's always like a scary thing because it's like because your dog is sweet, you're not really concerned about like him attacking somebody. You're more concerned about somebody just either taking him because he's a full breed, pit bull,
mhm,
which they're expensive, and then also, obviously, like you said, people just being afraid of him and
afraid of him.
yeah, and doing something because of that. So, but I'm assuming he came back.
Well, I came and I drove over here and I found him on the street, so I picked him up and I brought him inside because he didn't. The gates were open and he didn't know how to come inside.
I
Like that's
gotcha.
how dumb he is.
But he was okay. Like no, he wasn't
Yeah,
hurt. Okay, oh, that's
yeah.
good. That's good to hear. So with your clientele and everything, just to kind of wrap up, what do you mainly coach? Do you mainly coach um, lifestyle coaches or
Lifestyle
lifestyle
clients.
clients? I'm sorry.
Yes, that's primarily lifestyle clients. And I did start to pick up a few wellness girls.
Okay.
Most of my lifestyle clients are educators or professionals, a lot of
Hmm.
CPAs. So a
Got
lot of people that are really busy and they just want a structured workout and a nutrition plan. And so I send them all of that. We check
it.
in on a weekly basis, and then if they have questions, they'll just text me during the week. So I'm always accessible to them.
Excuse me. So do they mainly want to like lose weight? Is that generally what you get?
Yeah, a lot of them, they want to lose weight and they want a tiny waist.
In tiny waist. That's what everybody wants, right? Tiny waist.
Yes.
That's I even want that. I don't know what do I need to do. Tell me how I get a tiny waist. But yeah. So you said you picked up a couple of wellness girls. How did that come about?
I think they saw my progress on my Instagram, and so they asked me whether I could start training them, and I told them yes. So
Okay, so they just
I had a
came out.
couple of them jump
They
on.
just came right out and were like, "Hey, can you train me?"
Yes.
Got it. So you could potentially be like Robert, have a whole team and and get going like with that whole side of the business.
Yeah.
Do you think competing has really like increased your how can I put this uh, your popularity as far as like clients and things like that? Do they appreciate the fact that you're a competitor, or do you think that doesn't play a factor in it?
No, I think it does because I think a lot of people see your discipline um,
Mhm.
and how you portray yourself, not just when you're in the gym, but on stage, and then when you interact with them as well. So I
Sure.
think it does play a big role. And then personally, for me, competing has brought me so many friends that people I would never have met.
Hmm.
And through competitions, I've met them, and I can call them my best friends now. And
Yeah.
so that's a really cool thing about the industry is that you get to meet so many people, make new friends. So pretty
Yeah.
cool.
No, that's an amazing thing. That's a beautiful thing, because really fitness is, we're people that are interested in fitness and the fitness industry are actually. It seems like it's a lot. It's really a small percentage of the population. I
Hmm.
mean, when you think about how many people actually work out, I think last time I checked the statistic, it was like less than 1% of population workout.
Yeah.
That's just go to the gym and work out. And then you talk about even less for people that compete and that are, into training. So it's a very small niche community to be a part of. And sometimes that's the fun of it, right? Like, to be a part of that that close knit community. So
Right.
yeah, yeah. Well, hey, Cynthia, I appreciate you coming on the show. I appreciate you showing off all your trophies there. Where I'm very impressed. As like I saw a
Thank you.
picture of you next to them on your page, and I was like, wow, that is a lot of trophies. She's won a lot of competitions. So thank you for
There's more
that.
on that side, but
Yeah, well,
I'll show it later.
yeah, maybe next time you just bring them all over to one side. But,
But thank
um,
you for having me. I'm really happy to be able to be on the show with you. So
of course, yeah. No, we had a great time, and I'd love to have you again as you progress and you compete, and we can talk about different subjects and things like that. You have a lot of insight, so I'd love to have you on some
thank you.
more. But in the meantime, until next time, do you want to tell people what's the best way to contact you if they want to hire you as a coach?
Sure, through my Instagram is probably the best way that they can reach me.
Got it. So
Um, just send a DM.
awesome. So
I
yeah,
have,
I'll go ahead. Mhm.
sorry, I have a website also. I forgot.
You
It's
forgot you have a website.
that's
You're so successful. You forgot you have a website.
it's a www.cindytorres.net, and all of my programs are on there.
Awesome. Great to hear. And yeah, I will be tagging everything at the bottom of the video. Guys, if you like this video, please subscribe and hit the like button. And Cynthia, again, thank you so much for your time. Tell your husband thank you for allowing you to take the time out of your family to come on the show.
Thank you, and have a good
All right.
afternoon.
You take care. Bye.
Alrighty, bye bye.